Hey yo, what is up guys, your boy Ed from FloodGates. You already know. Today we're going to be doing a SwordSoul deck profile. I've been working on this deck for maybe about, give or take, 2 weeks. It's a deck that I just got back. I love this deck so much. SwordSoul is a lot of fun. It's really good at breaking boards. That's the amazing thing. The annoying thing is that a lot of people are main decking Dark Ruler and they're able to break boards just because of Dark Ruler. While this deck does not need Dark Ruler, so if you want to play a deck that does not need Dark Ruler and does not need to not think, this is definitely a deck that is really fun. I've been playing a couple of FloodGates. I have a little bit of Spice. Not going to release this deck profile, so if you're watching it, it's now after a 3v3 that my team and I have went to go participate in. I've played this so far in 3 tournaments, and I've topped in 2 out of the 3 tournaments, so that says a little bit of how fun or powerful this deck actually is. I built it to play with meta, and there's a lot of cards in here that are definitely something that you wouldn't normally expect, but it's definitely a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. Hopefully you guys like what I have here. If you guys have any opinions, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below, but let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, getting into the deck profile. Yes, I do have 2 cameras on today. You already know. But we're going to go ahead and start off with our monsters. I think that the SwordSoul lineup should be very self-explanatory. I just want to go into in-depth a little bit with it because it's one of my favorite decks. I think the deck is a lot of fun. And yes, sir, it's doing really well. So starting off with the 3 Ecclesias. Ecclesia being one of the cards that I main at 3 and then only really play at 2 if I'm going first. It's one of the cards that I can easily side out and work around my side deck. My side deck is kind of fun. I'm having a little bit of trouble. I'm playing a lot of trap cards in here, but they all do something and it's so much fun. We're gonna go ahead and continue now. Let me see if I can adjust that lighting. There you go. We're gonna continue with, of course, 3 Moyi, 3 Ecclesia. You can get away with 2 if you really wanted to, but 3 Moyi is definitely mandatory. Once this gets used for a synchro summon, of course, you draw a card. Now continuing with Long Young. I've had the situation since I hadn't played this deck in a long time. I actually had forgotten, I think, Long Young like once, and it mattered. I had forgotten Long Young to burn once, and it really mattered, and it kind of bothered me a lot. But I think Long Young is super busted, can make you any level 10 at all in your whole extra deck. So you already know that's really fun. Of course, wrapping up the SwordSoul monsters, Ecclesia definitely not being one, but honorary SwordSoul. But wrapping up the SwordSouls, 2 Taille, double Taille. Taille is actually probably my favorite SwordSoul monster out of all of them because, and this is including extra deck too, because just Taille is so good. Like I've been able to discard it, I've been able to revive it, and yes, I do play the SwordSoul Revive spell card. I think it's really good. I do a lot of Long Young, discard Taille, and then search like summon, and then summon, activate, bring back Taille, banish the Long Young once we've already gotten rid of the Long Young, of course, and you've synchroed for something. But you see how busted that is? It's so good. I like that a lot. For the 10 monsters, of course, we're going to play the 3 Ashina. Ashina being able to special summon out any of the 10 monsters from the extra deck, being able to get anything out there for you, but not just that, locking you out of your special summons to only worm types. It's not bad, honestly. We're gonna go ahead and continue. I play 3 Vashuda. If I know I'm gonna go first, I side a Vashuda out, so I never really have an issue with that. Siding out in this deck doesn't really become that difficult once you already know how to really play the deck. But yeah, gonna go ahead and continue with Adhara. Adhara, really good. Always at 3. I've never really had the necessary issue to wanting to side one out or anything like that. I don't need a 5er in this deck. I don't think it's necessary. I do have a secret Spice that I'm working on currently right now. Not releasing that in this video. It's just something that I'm kind of going through and thinking about. But if it works out, I will tell you guys in the near future. Shatana as the last 10 monster that you have to play in this deck. I think it's actually more than mandatory. I'm not playing circles, but I've always had the situation, like I actually came through a situation earlier this week where somebody spun back one of my SwordSoul monsters back into the deck, left my token. I was just like, okay, banish over here Ashina, special summon out the level 4, and then synchro summon. I guess they just didn't think I was playing the Shatana, which is perfectly fine. Helps you bring any of these out. Specials from deck, bounces cards back, adds one of the banished, any of these or any of those back to your hand, of course. And if your normal monster was to be destroyed, non-effect monster, you get to destroy a card by reviving that monster back onto the field. Super good. I like that so much. Continuing, this is what I play that a lot of people hadn't been expecting. I think it's really good. I like it a lot. It definitely has stopped a couple of frog players whenever they'll like attempt like Ronatonin or something like that. It doesn't stop Elf, but it does do a little bit of work. It puts in a little bit of work. I like this a lot. I played 3 Skullmeisters and 1 Ghost Spell as my last hand traps. I'm not playing Ash in here. I am playing Imperm, but we'll get to those when we get to the traps. Not playing Ash. I really wanted to test this out and see how this would work for me. I'm definitely in the process of playing 3 and 2 of these. I like this a lot. Skullmeister is really good. There is certain matches where I wish I had the Ash instead of the Meister, but then Meister does his thing and negates a monster, an effect in the graveyard. Honestly, so good, so good. Continuing with the spells, we got to start off with the first 3 spells, which you guys should already be able to know. You got to play the 3 Rhoda. I think this was a card that a lot of people were asking for this to get hit before SwordSoul died, and then came back to life now because they're so good. I think it's a Rhoda. It's really good. Just let me do my thing. Don't ask for it to get banned. You got the Rhoda Monster Reborn right here. This is the one that revives any worm if you control a Synchro, or SwordSoul if you don't control a Synchro, right? Which is perfectly fine. You can revive your Shishao. You can revive your Taiye, your Moyi. Those are like the ones that matter. Don't ever revive your Long Young because in case you, well, unless you really need the level 6. But those. Actually here is the card that I continue playing that a lot of people are not playing anymore, Vessel. If you are playing SwordSoul, I know a lot of people are not playing Vessel and they're choosing to play Circle over Vessel, but I think Vessel is just so good. It's not just a Foolish, it's also a Rhoda, which just completely breaks the deck. So good, so good. Double Pot. This is one of the reasons why the deck is still very much playable. Pot is so good. When Pot was at 1, the deck was struggling a little, and it was a little harder to pilot it, but Pot back 2, more than fair, more than enough. I don't need it at 3. I'm only playing double Droplet. I don't really believe in a lot of 3-ups in the deck. Sometimes just 2-ups is more than enough. Yeah, I do think about playing like 2 Meister, 2 Bells, which is something that might be happening in the future. But I got a couple other cards that I want to throw in here later on, just some secret spies that I want to show you guys. So when we get there in the near future, you guys will probably understand why I want to play the 3 Meisters double bell later on a little better. Continuing, I played double Blackout. People are not expecting double Blackout, and Mystic Mind being so prevalent, Blackout normally just says, okay, be careful because I'm going to be able to pop your stuff. And they're being smart and they're not setting anything else. So that's fine. And when they get cocky and they have a second Mystic Mind in hand, they're going to set something, you're going to pop it, or they're going to normal summon something, you're going to pop it, and then they're going to activate another one. And they think you're done for, and then you just set another one later on, and they're not going to, like, this has happened. And then they just don't do anything, they pass, and then you just full combo them again, or continue OTKing them. It happens. That's what it is. This is my favorite spicy card. This is the card that I'm main decking that a lot of people are not playing, and it's Double Shadow Impersonating Mirror. Double Shadow Impersonating Mirror. Yes, sir, you heard it here. This stops Sprite Blue, Jet, all the tiers, all the good stuff. Shadow Impersonating is so good. You don't just stop their effects on the field, but in their graveyard. So good. So good. I like it a lot. Continuing with Double Rivalry of the Warlord. I was playing 3, but like I said, I like the 2-ups a lot. so I switched it out to 2. And double imperm, I think double imperm might be switched out soon. Maybe this will be replaced for 2 ashes. I'm not sure yet. I gotta see how my mega tints come out. If I can get enough ashes, I'll definitely switch these out for ashes. This is the main deck. I think the main deck's really good. It's super solid. It's definitely not bricky. Out of 10 games, I've probably bricked like once or twice, which is not bad. And then if you do brick, it could still be a hand that you can like normal summon like a Taie, or you activate the effect of a Tenyi, you link it away, and then you just set like the blackout or like floodgates and stuff, and that will win you a turn, right? We're gonna go ahead and continue to the extra deck. The side deck is gonna be, you know, talked about really fast, but extra deck. 3 monks have always been the way to go. For a super long time, I played 3 monks, and then I think that whenever I actually played SwordSoul a long time ago, I cut it down from 3 to 2, and I actually didn't like it for a while. I thought it was good for a minute, but then it was just like, and I went back to 3. I played the one Shatana, the Shaman, I'm sorry, the one Shaman Tenyi. This has not been needed at all. This is a card that I can probably cut and have a different flex spot. I don't need it. Double Shishao, so good. You already know this is your searcher. This can literally, you make this, you search any 1 card from your deck to your hand that is SwordSoul. You can either go Emergence, any of the 3 SwordSoul monsters. You can go Summit, you can go Blackout, whatever you want to do. This is so good. Continuing, I play 1 Yazi, double Baxia. 1 Baxia is probably more than enough. I've not had the need for a second Baxia just yet. Baxia has been really good, and I've liked it a lot. Now the one thing that I make a lot is actually Xiaofeng. I know a lot of monsters aren't light monsters right now in our meta, but it has been locking out some monsters, so much to the point where like my opponents would struggle, and it's so much fun to see my opponents struggle. 1 Berserker, because Berserker is always so cool. You got Supreme here, who Supreme is really cool. Now another flex spot is that I am choosing to play 2 of these whenever you only really need 1. Let's completely be honest here. There's enough spots and space for you to do whatever you want with other things. You can definitely throw in like maybe a needle fiber package and do other things in here, but you don't need it. There's a couple other things that I've been thinking about doing, maybe adding like Chaos Ruler and Punks in here, whatever, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing, throwing ideas out there, seeing what I can do. Maybe a Punk engine could be something in the near future, not sure. I've been told that I throw Punks into a lot of decks, but that's just me. And then of course for the last card is Baron plus your token. This is the token I use for all of my tokens, honestly, for all the sorts of stuff. Baron, so good. I don't think, if you had the ability to not play Baron, okay, if you could not play Baron, I think it would be fine. So like, if let's say you don't have a Baron, I think you would be fine. Honestly, play a second Supreme, because Supreme is really hard to out, and a lot of people will definitely out it. They'll find a way to out it, and they'll out it. Unless like you get Dark Ruler, then that's easy. They'll get rid of it like nobody's business. But Supreme is really hard to out. Like honestly, 90% of the time. So if you don't have a Baron, consider playing a second Supreme. You'd be chilling. My side deck is a little weird because I am a little weird. 1 Harpy, Feather Duster, 3 Prohibitions, because shout out to the boy Rich Lee, these were his Prohibitions. The 3rd Rivalry, of course, Rivalry being so busted. The 3 D Barriers, shout out to Johnny Sai, because he sold me these are beautiful, thank you buddy. 3 Anti-Spells, because Anti-Spell is still good. There's a lot of little things here and there that you can stop with this, like Dark Ruler and Tier Element Field Spell, and that's really good. Reboot, and Evenly, of course. I have a lot of spells and traps here to side in, so if I'm gonna go second, depending on my matches, like I'll do something like this. If I know I'm gonna go first, I normally do something like that. And yes, I do side in 9 to 10 cards sometimes, which is really, really funny. Depending on the match, like I said, if I have to side all of this in, I'll take out the Smysters and the Bells. And of course, like if I'm going first, I take out, like I said, the one Ecclesia, the one Vishuddha, and just little things like that. There's a lot of stuff to really make this work. I call Super Poly a lot, and I also call Dark Ruler a lot. The other card that you guys can call would be like Sprite Elf and the Tier Element Field Spell. Also, if you don't want to call the Tier Element Field Spell, because let's just say that you can read your opponent and you think that he definitely doesn't have the Field Spell, the other card that you can always call would be like their first fusion summon, which is Kaleidos. That's worked for me once or twice. I know it's definitely not super amazing, but it's definitely worked. I think this deck is a lot of fun. It has a lot of potential. A lot of people don't see it coming. If I caught you off guard already, it's because this deck is good. This deck can definitely catch people off guard and ruin a couple of days, because everybody's out here playing like super expensive decks, and then like the most expensive card in here that I own is probably like Baron, and I don't even own the Baron, honestly. Shout out to the sponsor, Alex Castro. You already know, Castro Corp. But yeah, this deck is a lot of fun. Try it out. Take it out to locals. It's still doing good. I've topped twice with it already. I've gotten credit at like, what was it, Omega twice, and it's, who doesn't want credit, right? But thank you guys all for watching, and thank you guys for watching my video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be doing a couple of giveaways coming soon. I got Dank Ritual sending me some stuff that I want to go ahead and open up for you guys and give it away here on the channel. But I'll see you guys then.